It's time! And now, introducing your host, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Boston, Massachusetts, presenting live,
the Bostonian versus the book. Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
Here he is, Matt LaFleur.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, depending on where you are in this great country, edition of the Bostonian versus the book. My name is Matt Peralta. We are live on our YouTube channel, the same on Twitter and X at Boston versus the book. We're replayed on Sports Grid TV each and every weeknight, about 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific time, and audio podcasts wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. I will apologize at the start for the voice and for the energy and everything else I have been battling. This is one of those days where I could have tapped out. I was close to tapping out and saying, I don't know if I can get the show done today. It's one of those days where I probably should just be in bed and not doing anything, but it's Monday after Super Wildcard weekend. So yes, I'm here. Yes, we will do an hour. Yes, we will get everything that you've been talking about online on the show. We'll have a bunch of stuff to get to today on the program, but just understand that, like, if by some reason I have to get up and like blow my nose or something, just FYI, just, don't freak out. Like, where's Matt going? Like, I'll be right back. It's just one of those unfortunate circumstances where I told you I was going to get sick, sitting next to that person on that plane, and I've been battling. I've been fighting it. I've been trying to keep myself away from it, but, I lost that battle. It's only a cold up to this point. It's only a cold, but it's like a cold that won't go away. So, I am on drugs, and I am here able to actually do the show, but like, this is not how I normally sound, obviously. It's not how I normally feel, obviously. So always fun doing national television when you feel like crap, but so be it. We will get to my 5 favorite things from the weekend. We have a lot to talk about. We have coaching news to get into. We've got the circa million, our guys from Omaha, Nebraska. They're going to be on the show tomorrow, but our dudes from Omaha won $25,000. Mental handicappers came in second to last in the entire contest. What is crazy about the story, and we'll get into it tomorrow, it is, and I've said this before, it is equally difficult to pick losers as it is to pick winners. So, like, just on a coin flip basis, you're probably going to wind up 45%, right? Just blindly, throwing darts at numbers, you're probably going to go 45%. The guys from Nebraska actually had a better, if you take the losses and inverted it, if you flipped it, right, to have, say, they faded every bet that they made, they won. They would have won $1 million, which is so crazy to stop and think about it, because they ended up with more points than the team that won the $1 million prize for circa million. Like, now they came in second place, so there's someone ahead of them that wound up, they would have won it as well. But just if you take in the person that came in first, you pulled them out, mental handicappers would have had the number 1 record of anybody in circa millions. So I'm psyched to talk to the guys tomorrow on the show. They're flying back this morning. I wanted to have them on today, but they're flying back to Nebraska this morning. Hell of a weekend. Is there anything better than flying to Vegas, picking up a check, and partying for 2 days while watching football on Saturday and Sunday? I mean, talk about a weekend for those guys. Congratulations. So very cool for that. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for them, but it's cool to see how it all kind of played out. Circa did an amazing job. I would have gone to it on Friday night, but again, I wasn't feeling well. And two, I had my daughter, so we had plans. So I wasn't able to get down there on Friday night to see everybody. And then they had sent me a text message saying, "Hey, we're in town. Where are you?" And I was like, shoot, I can't come down and see you guys. But very happy for them. Very excited. 25K, nothing to shake a stick at, but their record, we'll do it in the news of the industry. Their record is quite amazing what those guys were able to pull off from a losing perspective. If they had flipped it and became a winning perspective, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't have picked the same games, but they were able to pick a whole lot of losers to wind up with $25,000, which is not bad to 25x your money when you enter a $1,000 contest and come around with 25,000. That's pretty darn cool. Let's talk about the weekend. It's the opening line being presented by Huel. It is the opening line being presented by our friends at Huel. If you are watching the show, you can take out your camera on your phone, shoot that QR code. It's going to take you directly to Huel.com. If you want to go to a browser, it's Huel.com/BVB20. That code BVB20 will give you 20% off your first purchase at Huel, including their high protein starter kit, which is right now available, which is 5 ready to drink Black Edition chocolate powder. And then you get right into their carbs. You get right into all the things that you're trying to avoid. Protein is what we're after here. Okay. The starter kit will get you rolling here with 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, no artificial sweeteners. It is gluten-free. It is vegan. And it tastes tremendous. Or you go to the powder, chocolate, vanilla, or other flavors. That gives you 40 grams of protein coming up. You can make it with water. You can make it with milk like I do. You can throw bananas in it. You can throw fruit in it like I do. It's a great way to start your day, in particular if you are on a fitness journey here in the beginning of the year. Great way to keep your sugar content down, get your protein up, and to help you eat healthy and lose weight. QR code on the screen right now or Huel.com/BVB20. New customers only. That code BVB20 to save 20% off the high protein starter kit from our friends at Huel. Okay, let's talk about my 5 favorite things from the weekend because there are a bunch of them to get into. Number 5, and I'm going to tip of the cap. All you guys, all you Hoosiers, congratulations. Indiana, they just continue to do it. They just continue to prove me wrong. They continue to just dominate. And I had a friend of mine who sent me a text during the game and said, it almost looks like it's not believable what Indiana is doing to its opponents because they aren't just winning games. Like they're killing people. They killed Oregon. That game wasn't even close. 56-22 doesn't tell the story, not even close, as to how dominant the Hoosiers were over Oregon. The Ducks did not belong on the same field as Indiana. I mean, Alabama didn't either for that matter, but we had kind of poked holes in the Alabama resume all season long. The Ducks lost at home by 10 points to Indiana earlier in the year. They turned around and got beat by 1,000,000 when it really mattered on a neutral in the college football playoffs with the Peach Bowl. Like an absolute fundamental rout happened. Indiana, I don't know who beats them. Like I haven't believed in Miami. Miami won Thursday. I hadn't believed in Indiana, and then Indiana destroyed Oregon. So both teams that I've been betting against both made the college football playoffs. So like, what do I do for the final? I have no idea what I am betting for the college football championship. Whatever it is, bet the other side. Whatever I bet the other side, because I clearly have not seen this college football season well. It's the age-old story with me. If I have a great NFL year, and I've had a very good NFL season, I cannot have a good college season at the same time. It's one or the other. Either I'm doing really well in the NFL and awful in college, or flip it around, because college football this year was just not good for me. And it continued through Friday, just not being good. The NFL, I won on Saturday. I won on Sunday. Like I did very well this weekend betting. I wish I had some reasoning behind it as to why it happens like that, but it goes one way or the other. Either I'm great in college and then I stink in the NFL, or vice versa. But if you are looking to fade somebody in the college football championship game, it's probably going to be me. Like, fade me. Because right now, I would say bet Indiana. And I know Hoosier fans are going to hate to hear that, but I don't know what to do with that. To me, I'm just going, I think it's Indiana, and that's it. I don't think anybody's in their class. Maybe Miami with their defense can slow them down a little bit, but like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that game. 7.5. I mean, that number is daring us to take Miami. I feel like the books are they know the public will bet Indiana. The public side is going to be Indiana. Like, that's just 100% what's going to happen. So if we know the public side is going to be Indiana, okay, well, maybe we just wait and see how high the number goes before we come in and we take Miami. But I don't want to bet on Carson Beck. I mean, Carson Beck scored that touchdown on Thursday, and I was like, okay, he finally did something for Miami. He really has done nothing in the playoffs besides that. He just hasn't hurt them all that badly. So it's been the Miami defense, which has been the biggest story, and has been the one that we've all kind of looked at and gone like, wow, this is a pretty wild set of circumstances, just because Carson Beck is making $4 million a year. But he's not hurting Miami, which I guess is as good as helping Miami in a way. So let that defense eat, let the offensive line go, let the power football that Miami's been playing throughout the playoffs. I mean, they're just playing smash mouth football. They're just smacking people around. So if you want to fade somebody, fade me. But right now, I would say lay the points with Indiana. But again, that's a very public side. I love it when athletes aren't afraid to go ahead and just get fined. Jaylen Brown is furious at the NBA, and the numbers say it's right. Jaylen Brown is going to be fined this morning, if not already, by the NBA for completely trashing the referees for what they did to him in the game against the Spurs, in which San Antonio won that game on Saturday against the Celtics. But Jaylen Brown, this is crazy. 2 games against Denver and San Antonio, both of which are at home for the Celtics. He drew 1 shooting foul in 54 drives to the basket against Denver and San Antonio. 1 to 54. Brown is 3rd in the NBA in total drives, but he gets fouled just 8.9% of the time. Expected shooting fouls on 54 drives would be about 4.8. He's getting it way less. Way less. Brown's free throw attempts peaked at 8.7 per game in December, but it's down to 5.8 free throws per game in the month of January. The Celtics are 30th in free throw attempt rate in free throw attempts per game. Boston's also 27% in personal foul percentage on all drives. So the Celtics are a team like they shoot a lot of threes, right? Well, the referees clearly think like it's a day off. When they call Celtics games, it's a lot of threes and not a lot of work for the referees. So I give credit to Jaylen Brown, because everyone's talking about Boston right now and waiting for Jason Tatum, but they may not need him. I mean, this is amazing. This was the biggest season, the most hyped year in Knicks basketball over the last, 10 years plus? And Boston has a record that's right there with the New York Knicks. And Boston is without Jason Tatum, and they may get him back at some point around Easter. So we're into 26, and now we can start the Tatum watch as to when will he show up for Boston. But in the meantime, right now, they don't need him. But I give Jaylen Brown some credit. Go ahead and take the fine and blast the referees for what's been going on. Accountability, again, in all sports. The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, accountability for referees. I think if there's a buzzword for 2026 when it comes to referees, it's going to be accountability. We want these officials held to account. We want some mechanism for them to be checked when they're doing crazy things. And there were a bunch of crazy things that happened over the weekend, including a spot in the game for the Patriots in the Chargers game last night that made absolutely no sense, which gave the first down to the Chargers, as what was said during the broadcast as the most significant play of the day, as Chris Collinsworth called it at the time. It could have turned the whole game. But accountability, that is a huge question mark when it comes to where referees are and what's going on with referees. Number 3, welcome back hatred. I am a Red Sox fan. I am a Celtics fan. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Lakers. Hate. H-A-T-E. Hate them. Okay? Not the players, the laundry. Okay? The logo, the organization. That will always change. But when you put on that jersey, when you put on that hat, I don't like you. Period. This is great. Well, everyone's calling Ben Johnson unprofessional, which it was. Who cares? Welcome back, hatred. Welcome back. I hate the Packers. I hate those guys. Bleep the Packers. That was great. The icy handshake was great. I want, where was that? There it is. I want more of this. I want more of, I'm not even going to look at you when I shake your hand because I hate you. I blew an 18-point lead. A game I had won. It was 21-3. Bears couldn't do anything. And then Ben Johnson goes in the locker room and says, bleep the Packers. I loved it. I love all of this. This is awesome. I bet the Packers. I don't like Ben Johnson, but I love this. This is great. I don't get the criticism. Like, what do you want? I hate the fact that the Red Sox and the Yankee players got along. I hate the fact that David Ortiz became friends with all the Yankees, and then that chilled it all out. And there's not this like hatred anymore because Boston has won 4 championships to 1 for the Yankees. And there's not nearly the anger and not nearly the animosity towards the Yankees that there used to be, because the Yankees are not the Yankees anymore. They're just another team. The Dodgers, they're the Yankees now, but the Dodgers are in LA, and people have a hard time getting angry about LA unless you're in San Francisco. Then you hate the Dodgers. But for the most part, there isn't like this hatred for the Dodgers that should exist. They've won back-to-back championships. They're spending more money than anybody. Again, they have the best player in the history of the game, yet nobody really hates the Dodgers but the Giants and Giant fans. I don't hate the Dodgers. I'm a Red Sox fan. What do I care? I don't hate them. I hate the Yankees. The Cubs and the Cardinal rivalry is fun, but both franchises have been garbage. So it's hard to like. The Cubs like to pretend, and yeah, they got Alex Bregman. We'll talk about that later. Like the Cubs like to pretend that they're a contender, but in reality, they're not a contender. Like in reality, they're always playing for second or third place. They're not really a formidable year in and year out team. Their fan base likes to think that they are, and the media in Chicago likes to think that they are. But in reality, the Cubs are not a formidable opponent every year, no matter how much money they spend. They had it with Theo Epstein. He broke the curse. If they win another championship in my life, I'll be stunned. I just, it was a nice one and done type of thing for the Cubs. And that's kind of where it is. I look at the Bears and Ben Johnson, and look at the Packers and Matt LaFleur, and we'll get to the LaFleur news later. This is perfect. Like, if this is the new, not just localized blood feud, because Bears and Packers have hated each other for a long time, but like national blood feud. Like, we're going to watch these games on national TV every year. We're going to enjoy watching all of this stuff happening. The official account for the Bears, sorry, Will, tweeted out the video in which the head coach said, fuck the Packers. Do you guys understand how insane that is? That's the official account of the Bears. This is an organizational decision to put that out publicly. That wasn't a leaked video. That wasn't a media member who had a cell phone rolling. That wasn't a fan. That wasn't somebody outside. That was inside the actual locker room with the official account of the Bears deciding to hit send after the head coach said that. Like, that's wild. That is absolutely wild that happened. And Vinny, I've seen this a lot, okay? The fact that when the NFL draft was in Green Bay and you had a bunch of Packer players, former, standing up there chanting things at the Bears and making fun of Chicago, I hear you, okay? It has been. That was a long time coming. That franchise has owned you. That's why I bet the Packers. They were 12-2 going in. They should have been 2-0 against you guys this year. If it wasn't for a ridiculous onside kick that was recovered by the Bears, I bet the Bears in that game. I bet the Packers over the weekend. So I went 2-1 on my games involving Bears-Packers. But this is awesome. Like, this is so good now for football, for the NFL, for the playoffs going forward. See what the Bears do after they get a second life. And then what the Packers do, which I cannot believe they're going to extend Matt LaFleur after he went 0-5 to end the year with 2 losses to the Bears in horrific fashion. Let's give him an extension. Okay, sure. That makes a lot of sense. But that's what they're going to do. Give me more of it. Give me more icy handshakes. Give me more F-bombs in the locker room. Let's get after it. I love the fact that Ben Johnson said, I don't like those guys. I hate those guys. That's great. I want hatred in sports. Okay? This is professional sports. This is not Pop Warner. This is not high school. Heck, this is not even college. Okay? This is professional sports. These guys are millionaires. They have every reason not to care. They have every reason to talk about their 4 cars and 5 houses and life that none of us can explain, none of us can understand. And if they care, they emotionally care. They care the way the fan cares. They care the way that little kid on the streets of Philadelphia after the Eagles lost went to a local news report and told the offensive coordinator to be flipping burgers at McDonald's. That's what I want. I want that level of care. I want that level of intensity from everyone in the organization. Because again, they have every reason not to care. They have every reason to just kick their heels up and be like, whatever, I'm a millionaire. I love it when there's this level of hatred and we see true passion in sports. Yes, the Bears won. Congratulations. But the birth of a national rivalry, number 3. Hell yeah. Favorite thing from the weekend. Big, big fan. Number 2, this has been quasi-confirmed that this actually happened. And I think it's amazing. It's so George Kittle. After he blows his Achilles and he's done for the year, he's done for next year, George Kittle was asked by the 49ers, can we get you anything? And George Kittle said, a bottle of tequila. And they brought it to him. This is so Iowa. I love this. Like, this is exactly how I think a lot of folks in the Midwest would react. Like, all right, let's get drunk. Like, I can't do anything about it. I can't help my team. I'm in a lot of pain. I got a rehab that's going to be a really long one. Somebody get me a drink. I got a drink. Go get me a bottle of tequila. George Kittle's one of one. He's so relatable. He's just a guy that you want to have that drink with. Like, I think every fan who sees that, they're like, man, can I have one? Like, George, pour me a shot. I'm right there with you. It really does stink. The injuries are ridiculous. The number of star players for the 49ers who have gotten hurt this year. Look, I don't believe in the whole, electromagnetic thing, but it is sort of weird. Okay. So my shoulder is not going the way it's supposed to be going. So I'm trying all these different like alternative medicine things. And the current thing that I am doing is I'm doing RF therapy on my shoulder, which is radio frequency therapy on my shoulder. They are shooting radio waves into the tendons into my shoulder to try to loosen up the tendon to allow some more elasticity to get my shoulder so I can actually use my shoulder, because I can't use my shoulder the way I'm supposed to use my shoulder. You see that? My shoulder's supposed to go like that. My shoulder won't move. So we're shooting things into my shoulder to try to loosen it up. And the power plant that is next to the practice facility for the 49ers is now coming into scrutiny more and more because of all these injuries to the tendons of the players, because they believe that low frequency radio transmissions and radio waves are coming off that power plant, which is then injuring the 49ers. I'm doing that to my own body on purpose. But what if it's happening unintentionally to the 49ers with all of the Achilles tendons, the bicep tendons, the pectoral tendons, all the things that have ACL injuries, all the things that have happened to the 49ers? That conspiracy is starting to get a lot of traction, and it's hard to argue. I think it's totally coincidental, but just the fact that I am doing RF treatment on my shoulder made me kind of go, well, maybe there is something to that. I don't know. Today will be my second treatment on my shoulder. Does it work? I don't know. I've had one treatment so far. Let's see what happens after my second treatment. Does it help? I hope it helps, but I don't know if it's going to help. It's, it is what it is, but it's weird. It's that's all that it is. Is it AM or FM? I don't know what it technically is. It's just warm. That's all I know. It makes my shoulder really, really warm. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like I don't know. It's for 15 minutes. They shoot radio waves into my shoulder for 15 minutes. It's like an ultrasound type of thing. They put like ultrasonic gel on my shoulder, and then they're just like trying to move around and break up the scar tissue and loosen up the tendon to make the tendon more stretchy. Does it work? I don't know. I'll tell you guys after a couple of weeks of doing this, but it is sort of weird. It is. Yeah, that's a good point, Whitrock. If he had asked for some Busch Light, it would have been more Iowa. But I mean, getting tequila is still pretty Iowa. That's still pretty Iowa. I like it. I'm a fan. And number one, my favorite thing from the weekend, you knew what this was. Patriots defense. How about the Patriots defense? They're the only team to win in cover. How about that? Every other dog covered but the Patriots. They win. They cover the 3.5. They give up 3 points, but in the process, they make history. Now, is this the Patriots defense or a massive indication at how bad Justin Herbert was last night and how bad Greg Roman was, the offensive coordinator? Maybe. But the Patriots defense last night allowed 3 or fewer points, had 6 or more sacks, allowed 2 or fewer combined third down or fourth down conversions, allowed 160 or fewer passing yards. No team in the Super Bowl era has ever done that during a playoff game. The Patriots defense dominated the Chargers last night. I mean, it was an ugly game offensively for the Patriots. Drake May did not play well. Drake May was bad. Fumbled the ball twice, lost one, was picked off twice. He looked like a rookie. I mean, flat out looked like a rookie. Yet the offensive line was good enough. The running game was good enough. And the defense was outstanding for the Patriots. Offensive line, another huge problem for the Chargers. The Patriots, just once they got the lead, the Patriots teed off. Milton Williams, that sack to ice the game was so good. And the Patriots being healthy going into that game is why I bet them to win. Now, coming out of the game, Christian Gonzalez, okay, his head injury is one to watch. He can't play coming up this weekend. That is huge, in particular if it's the Steelers and they got to work. I mean, actually both teams, because you got Nico Collins or you've got DK Metcalf that will be running around in that secondary, and not having your best cover corner is a huge loss if the Patriots do not have Christian Gonzalez this coming weekend for their game for the divisional round. But we'll have to check on that and see how he goes through the protocols here for concussion. But he did leave that game early and did not return for the Patriots coming up here for that. Let's talk about all 5 games, recap what happened. What a wild card weekend. It was a lot of fun, not just what happened last night, but the whole weekend. All right, what happened this weekend? Let's talk about this. The Rams blow a 14-point lead, but they hang on to beat the Panthers 34-31. This is interesting now. So, road playoff favorites of 7.5 or more are now 0-4 ATS in NFL history. This was the first loss, back-to-back losses for the Panthers following a straight-up loss. They had gone 8-0 the next week, but they're 9-0 ATS. That Panther team going forward, there's something there. Like that's a team to watch. That they're going to be interesting to see what they add in free agency. But Bryce Young is not nearly the bust that people thought he was, and he has developed nicely under this new coaching staff in Carolina. And I think there are some pieces there, Ted McMillan and company, that you can build upon. And I think that's a team that next year will look to build and look to have something a bit more productive than an 8-9 season like they had last year. But the Rams, that's a bugaboo team. For whatever reason, the Rams just can't put those guys away. Like they've got sort of the secret sauce as to how to disrupt the Rams. But they go up 14-0, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, this is an easy walk to the park. It's 17-14 at the break. And so first half, Panthers cover the first half number, and then the game is in doubt. It's back and forth. I mean, the Panthers had the lead going, the Rams get the football. According to Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford's walking up and down the sideline saying, let's go snatch their soul, which is David Goggins, which was interesting to hear David Goggins being quoted by Matthew Stafford. I was like, okay, a guy who's had a massive impact on my life, to hear that be reference was pretty cool from a Matthew Stafford perspective. And frankly, one that that's a type of comment that makes me like Matthew Stafford even more. I like Matthew Stafford even before that. But I think when you're taking a look at what this team for the Rams may look like going forward, you need that version of Matthew Stafford. Uber confident, can do whatever he needs to do, make every throw. And that was an MVP type moment. Now, the MVP voting has already been cast. But who played better? Matthew Stafford played better than Drake May. No debate there. But both teams win. One team at home. Both teams advance. Patriots covered. Rams did not. But the Rams obviously had a gigantic number. 10.5 was a stupid number. Huge, big win. Big advanced. The Packers made news this morning after ending the year 0-5 and blowing 2 games against the Bears. According to Adam Schefter, they are now going to extend Matt LaFleur. And I'm not going to lie, this is a bit of a surprise. I thought they would fire Matt LaFleur this morning, and I thought they would wind up hiring John Harbaugh, who has a lot of ties to the Packers organization and people with the Packers and the Midwest. With John Harbaugh sitting out there, you just wonder, is he already going to New York? Like, is Harbaugh already agreed to coach the Giants? Because if he has not, Green Bay is not even a little bit interested in John Harbaugh. You're good with Matt LaFleur. I mean, again, Matt LaFleur has been a very good coach, and I don't want to disparage what he has accomplished and what he's been able to do. But I was surprised to see that report this morning that the Packers are going to extend Matt LaFleur and keep him, because it was fireable. I think you could fire him for being up 18 points. And the play calling in the fourth quarter was horrific. I don't understand, when you're trying to protect a lead, I don't understand why the Packers were not running the football more. I felt like both Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur, they coach with their ego. They both call plays with their ego. It's why I don't like Ben Johnson. Because I think Ben Johnson in these playoffs, and he did it in the game against the Packers, he makes boneheaded calls all the time. He calls plays that do not need to be called because he's trying to prove how smart he is. He did it with the Lions. He's doing it with the Bears. And it didn't work in the first half, and then it started to work better in the second half. But Matt LaFleur's play calling was great in the first half, and then it got really pathetic in the second half. And it was pass, 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 pass. Instead of just running the football and making the Bears burn their timeouts, so they would have gotten the ball back without their timeouts, and to bleed the clock down, to not give Chicago nearly as much time to go down the field for the game-winning touchdown. I was watching the game going, I don't get this. Like, why are you throwing the football and stopping the clock consistently for the Bears? You are their best friend right now. You're doing exactly what they're hoping that you would do. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Yes, Sonic, 0-5. That's what he finished. 0-5 down the stretch. Packers lost their last 4 games. They lost their playoff game. 0-5 down the stretch. Complete and utter collapse by that franchise. And yet they're keeping him. They're bringing him back, which I'm somewhat surprised that they're bringing him back. I think they're probably still taking phone calls on WIP right now after last night's game. Like, Philadelphia losing at home to a 49er team that was without George Kittle for the whole second half and was without numerous star players, Bosa and Warner and whatnot. And yet that was a masterclass by Kyle Shanahan. Like, that might have been the best. This is the best coaching job he's done with the 49ers. And he's got a shot. I mean, this team's got a shot. But how many more players are going to go down for the 49ers? Like, this is unbelievable. Every game, it seems like they're losing a star player, yet they've got Brock Purdy, they got Trent Williams back, and Lane Johnson did not play for the Eagles. And the Eagles' offense was horrific. I would expect to see some changes with Philadelphia. I would expect a new offense coordinator under Nick Sirianni. Does A.J. Brown get moved? Well, if he gets traded, the dead cap space, the dead cap hit is over $40 million. Like, A.J. Brown is stuck with the Eagles, and the Eagles are stuck with A.J. Brown. Like, the divorce would be so costly for them to do this, other than just, sitting him and not playing him. Is it a good look when a wide receiver is calling the coach the B word and you can read his lips? No. Is it tough when, after yelling at the coach for what's going on, you drop the biggest pass play of the season for the Eagles? That's a pretty bad look for A.J. Brown. I think you have a difficult situation going on right now because he is uber talented. He's making tons of money, but he is clearly a massive distraction for this franchise. And clearly there is a disconnect between A.J. Brown, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did not play well. He hasn't played well in big spots consistently in his career. But last year, they won it all because of the running game. But the Eagles can't run the football anymore. And Saquon Barkley has not looked the same as he did last year running the football. All year long, he looked like a shell of himself. So I'll be very curious to see what happens over the next couple of weeks, because does Saquon Barkley shut it down to get healthy? Like, what does he do this offseason? Because he needs to find a way to get his legs back. And they need Lane Johnson to be healthy. But the A.J. Brown story is going to dominate the offseason for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. Nick Sirianni isn't going anywhere. A.J. Brown, in reality, isn't going anywhere either. But A.J. Brown is a lightning rod. A.J. Brown's a problem. And the team can't do much about the cap hit that they will take by trading him or cutting him. So this is just trying to find a way to make it work for one more season. Like, just try to get to 27 and then you can move off of each other. But right now, things are bad in Philadelphia. Like, really, really bad in Philadelphia. Finally, the Patriots. Dominant win, 16-3 over the Chargers. But what's next for Justin Herbert? I mean, Justin Herbert in the postseason He goes on the road to New England and played one of the worst games of his career. And again, I don't break down film. I like to read and watch people who break down film. But by everybody who I watch and read as they've gone through Justin Herbert's progressions last night, that there were open receivers for the Chargers consistently missed by Justin Herbert. That Justin Herbert right now, whether it be the hand injury or whatever excuse you want to make for Justin Herbert, that this guy in the playoffs cannot get it done at the moment. There's been numerous examples of NFL quarterbacks who have not done it in the postseason until they have done it, essentially. That they've been questioned, they've been ripped, and then all of a sudden they go on a year, they go on a run, and everything works. There's no debate that Justin Herbert is a tremendous quarterback. But when the chips are down and you're in the playoffs, you don't want Justin Herbert on your team. You just don't. The numbers are just there. He just doesn't get it done yet. Will he? Maybe. Can he? I think he can, but he hasn't. And the Patriots, their defense in the second half befuddled Justin Herbert. It was one of the best defensive game plans I've seen from a Patriot perspective in a long time, to have a team that had multiple big play weapons to go down the field, and Justin Herbert needing the big play to take the top off the defense, to enable the running game, to enable just the short intermediate passing attack to take flight. Patriots weren't giving any of it. They couldn't hit it. They couldn't hit that big ball. Like did that big ball. Now on the flip side, Drake May didn't play well. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Drake May was bad. If Drake May plays like that again, Patriots defense might get it there and might get it done against Houston or Pittsburgh, but they're not going to be able to go to Denver, and win. There's no way. People are watching the AFC and they're watching the NFC and they're going, the AFC is so much worse than the NFC. And I don't really know how to argue that point. Like, I don't know how to tell you you're wrong, because your eyes tell you the AFC offenses are nowhere near the NFC offenses. And the AFC defenses are good, but they're not what we've seen with Seattle or what the game plan was for the 49ers. Like, the NFC right now is a lot better. Going into the playoffs, you could have taken at plus 140 the NFL champion to be out of the NFC East, 49ers, Seahawks, or the Rams. It's hard to say that one of those three teams will not be the champion this year. And I don't really care who comes out of the AFC. Patriots, Broncos, Bills. I don't care who gets there. The NFC, the winner of the NFC very well could walk their way to a Super Bowl. It looks on paper at the moment to be a little bit of a mismatch between the two. This is our bracket as to what is left. We have the 49ers and the Seahawks, 1v6. Bills, Broncos, 1v6. Rams on the road to the Bears, and then the Patriots against either the Texans or the Steelers, depending on who wins tonight. More on that game here in just 1 second. What's interesting about this bracket, the Bills are favored over the Broncos. Huh? I don't get that. The Seahawks are laying 7 up against the Niners. I'm good with that. But the Rams are 4-point road favorites against the Bears. This is going to be a fascinating week. From a betting perspective, this is going to be a fascinating week. What did I say? NFC North? NFC West, yes. Sorry if I said that wrong. This is going to be a fascinating gambling week to watch these numbers. To when the limits open up, where are the pros going to bet? I cannot wait to talk to Adam Bjorn on Thursday, because I want to know where the master money is going on these games. Because to me, it feels like the home dog in the divisional round is going to be a very popular bet. You want to bet the Bills on the road as a favorite to the Broncos? Really? Josh Allen was lucky to win that game. Trevor Lawrence had the football with a chance to go down and tie the game with the best kicking leg in the NFL in Cam Little, and he clanked the ball off of Jacoby Myers' hands into a game-ending interception. I didn't come away with that game being overly impressed with the Bills. I came away with that sinking feeling that the Jaguars are still the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence is still Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert are like the same to me. All this expectation, all this hype, all this attention on these guys, huge contracts, and falling short, consistently falling short. Why are the Broncos home dogs? Like, why are the Broncos home dogs? I don't understand. Like, it just don't get that. Bears, I mean, if you had made it 3, I think the pros would have bet the Rams pretty heavy. So they made it 4, knowing that they would bet the Rams. So to make them pay a bit of a price and at least kind of give the professionals a bit of a pause and say, all right. But I don't know. Bears plus 4 seems to be that seems to be decent to me. We're going to tease the games, tease the Bears and the Broncos. Broncos is 7.5. Bears, the Broncos or the Bears up to what, 10? Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I'm not a Bo Nix person either. Yeah, you're right. I've been anti-Bo Nix all year, but Bo Nix on the road. I've been anti-Bo Nix as a road team. Bo Nix at home, I don't mind. I mean, Bo Nix plays way better at home than on the road. Now, most quarterbacks do, but Bo Nix really does. Like, really does. Plays much better at home. We're down to 3.5 at some books. Okay. I haven't seen the number yet this morning. Don't mind that. I mean, the Bears are the side. I mean, I don't know. I think the Bears at 4. Again, I think 3 is the number. I think Rams minus 3. I think that number closes at 3. That's what the number should be. Rams by a field goal on the road. But 4? Didn't like that. Patriots are going to be a sizable favorite against either team that they play, either the Texans or the Steelers. They'll be a bigger favorite, obviously, against the Steelers. But that's a rematch of week 3, in which Patriots turned the ball over 5 times and lost to the Steelers. The Texans defense scares the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. In particular, with the pass rush that we saw from the Chargers, the Texans pass rush is way better. It's way more ferocious. So I'm cheering for the Steelers. I bet the Steelers, but I'm very much cheering for the Steelers because the Patriots, I think, have a much better shot at beating Pittsburgh than they do beating the Texans. Texans scare me. Not going to lie. That defense scares the hell out of me against Drake May. After what we just saw from the offensive line for the Patriots and Drake May, oh boy, that was not a good start for Josh McDaniels. Wasn't a good start for Drake May, but they won. So at the end of the day, the name of the game is to win, and they were able to do that. So that's all that really matters. Win and advance is all you need to do. Speaking of tonight. All right. Tonight, it is just the picks being brought to you by the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. Tons of props to bet tonight if you want on the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. Download the Betting Pros app or log on to bettingpros.com/props to check out the Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. I am going both Steelers money line and Steelers plus 3. You can take your pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers with fans in stands, they've won 23 consecutive Monday night games. Mike Tomlin overall is 12-5 on Monday Night Football. Mike Tomlin is unbelievable as a dog. Mike Tomlin as an underdog is an autoplay. Mike Tomlin as a favorite is an auto fade. It's just the same thing every single time we see it. You take Mike Tomlin, and if he is a dog, you take Mike Tomlin. If he's favored, you don't take Mike Tomlin. But I think in this game, when you're looking at the records and looking at what we've seen, it's unbelievable. CJ Stroud is 0-2 straight up and 0-2 on the road in the postseason. Stroud and the Texans in the 2 home games have scored 77 combined points in those games. On the road, they've scored 24 combined points. In the 4 career playoff starts entering this year, he has yet to close as the favorite in the playoffs for CJ Stroud. Now, they normally play on Saturday in that first window. This is Monday night. This is Mike Tomlin, who's 12-0 straight up on Monday night in Pittsburgh with fans in the stands. They have not lost a game at home with fans in stands since 1992. They are 23-0 in these situations. I just look at this team. I look at what the Steelers can do. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a war, but I think the Steelers find a way to make enough plays to get a W. I'll take the 3 points. I'll take money line as well. Shop around, find the best price for Steelers money line. But if you aren't that comfortable, tease it. Steelers +9 and the under 44. That's also how I've played this because I don't think Pittsburgh gets blown out here. I don't think they lose the game by double digits. I don't think the Texans blow out anybody by double digits unless there are multiple turnovers by the Steelers, which I'm banking that they will not have multiple turnovers tonight, that Aaron Rodgers plays well, that this team is at home, and that everyone is betting and taking the Texans. I'll stay on an island and I'll ride this trend. Everyone is fading Pittsburgh. I'll ride Pittsburgh on this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see how this happens. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be great to see. Eric, if you're worried about Tom Brady, sketchy balls, helmet radio issues, if you think that that's why you guys lost consistently in the playoffs, you need to go learn why your zone defense was so easy for the Patriots to beat. You're just glossing over the reality that your coaching staff was owned by the Patriots and Tom Brady. It's such an amazing, incredible psychosis of Steeler fans that you guys don't understand that Brady knew exactly what you were doing before the snap every single time and knew exactly where to go with the ball every single time. And he owned Pittsburgh. So guess what's not going to happen in the rematch? If Pittsburgh wins tonight. That's a big if. They're not going to turn the ball over 5 times. And Ramondre Stevenson's not going to fumble 2 times at the goal line. 2 times at the goal line. The Patriots turned the ball over against the Steelers. And they still almost won the game. Bring it. Patriots will be favored by more than 3 points. When the Patriots have been favored by 3 or more this season, they are 11-0 straight up, including last night. I do have a prop bet, by the way. I do like a prop bet. BBB prop bet of the day. I'm going to go to Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers, and I'm going to play the under on his receiving yards. I got this at 34.5 and then 33.5. I saw it this morning as low as 31.5. I think you can still bet the under on Freiermuth. We're talking about the best defense in the NFL against tight ends. And we're talking about a team that only gives up 6.3 yards per attempt to tight ends. You just don't get long routes with tight ends. It's a lot of dink and dunk type stuff. And this defense can close. These linebackers can cover. And Freiermuth has not been targeted much by this offense going down the stretch for the Steelers. I think this is a pretty safe play to take Pat Freiermuth to go under 35.5 yards receiving tonight for our BVB prop bet of the day. Let's talk news. If I can spit that out. News of the industry. Excuse me. I figured I'd go for an hour and then my voice would start to crack, and that's what's happening, unfortunately, with that. First cough, though. That's not bad. 54 minutes in, first cough. Congratulations to our guys, mental handicappers, who won $25,000 in the Circa Millions contest. They were here over the weekend to pick up their check. They're going to be on the show tomorrow to talk about it, but get a load of this. Look at their record. This is cool. Mental handicappers go under full season last place winners. They went 27, 61, and 2 Okay. So JC Indicate won. They went 25, 64 in 1. What is notable about the loss number, 64 and 61? If you go to the top of the full season winners, Koyo Hop, Bison Sports Cards, Sean's Dolphins, look at the number of wins that they have. 60 wins, right? In one tie, 60.5 points earned. Tiebreaker wise, the $1 million prize pool went to Koyo Hop. Mental handicappers, if you faded their plays, okay, so meaning you bet the favorite, you bet on instead of what they bet against, you would go against them. Whatever the opposite side was, you won the tournament. You won Circa Million. They had a better record for their losses than the winner did for their winners. They had 62 points picking losers, 60.5 points picking winners. That's a $1 million season for mental handicappers. I couldn't believe this when I looked at this. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, that is crazy. They won $1 million, but because they were betting the booby prize, when they're betting the losers, it's just as hard to pick losers as it is to pick winners. It's easy, 45, 48%, like I've talked about, coin flip type stuff. You're going to go 40, 45% give and take, right? To go and come up with 62 points trying to bet losers, intentionally trying to bet losers. I can't wait to hear their strategy as how they intentionally bet losers. And then to realize that they had a better record, inverted, but they had a better record than the teams that won by betting winners. They bet more losers. So are they psyched that they won 25 million? Sorry, 25,000? Or are they bummed out that they could have won $1 million if they had a separate team and they flipped it and they bet opposite? Whatever their team was doing and they bet the other side, they would have wound up winning Circa Millions. $1 million. It's unbelievable. It really is. King of Car Seats. Yeah, they did too. All-time record, 63 and 27. JC Indicate beat it. The best record of all time. Inverted, right? Inverted. Did you come here, by the way? Were you in town to pick up your check? Or did you come in for your Grandissimo pickup? I saw a bunch of the teams. Our guy, I'm blanking on who I saw that was here. There were two people here that I'm blanking on both who I remember writing it down going, okay, they were in town, but who came in? But did you come in town on that to get your part of your winnings? I heard the party was unbelievable. I'm clearly under the weather. So like, I didn't want to go there and get everybody sick. I didn't feel, sorry. I'm glad you were in town. Sorry. Hit me up next time you're here, but I wouldn't have been able to come out anyway. So I don't feel bad for missing you because I was not healthy and I should not have been around a bunch of people. So still not healthy. I wasn't healthy Friday, not healthy now. So, but I'm glad the party I heard was awesome. I heard Circa did an unbelievable job with the party, with the checks and just everyone having a really fun time and really cool stuff. That just kind of to see. I got a couple text messages from Tom, our proxy friend Tom, about what was going on and what it was like to be down there and whatnot. So it was pretty cool. So very, very cool to have that. So congrats to those guys. We will have mental handicappers on the show tomorrow to kind of go over everything that happened with them and how they wound up. It's $25K. Look, I'm not shaking a stick at $25,000. It's, that's tremendous. Taking any money down from Circa Millions is impressive, given how many people just bet the 1,000 and didn't take anything out. But to come down with $25K, great. But looking at the record, 64, 25 and 1 was the record. 64.5 points. That would have been the record, but it was it was all in losing. It wasn't in winning. Same thing for mental handicappers. They would have won 62. They would have won the whole darn thing if they were betting the favorites, the winners, not betting losers. So again, just as hard to bet losers and pick losers as it is to pick winners. Just as difficult. maybe more in some ways, because it's like you're picking against, not for someone to do something, you're betting against what someone's going to do. So we'll talk more about their run tomorrow on the program. If you guys are watching live on YouTube or X, don't move. A bit more coming up in bonus time. If you're on Sports Grid, thank you for being here. We're back tomorrow on a Tuesday, same place, same time. Bonus time now. Oh, that's great. I'm glad Tom went to dinner with you guys. That's tremendous. Yeah, there's going to be more. We'll talk more about our relationship with Tom going forward as to what we're going to do. Really, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and I really like him a lot, and I think he's a really solid guy. I think he is he is somebody that stepped up when we needed help, and he was the only one to do that, by the way. So like, there's a million other proxies in Vegas. Like, there's so many other people who are doing the business, the proxy business. Only one stepped up when Dave got sick. Only one offered to work for free for the whole year. He took every brigade proxy service member, took them all, and didn't get paid. In fact, took the money, and we're talking nearly 5 figures, okay? Took the money that he would have made from the fees to put the picks in and said, I'm going to give it to Jessica and the girls. Okay? So, part of that money is mine. Yes. Okay. So it would have been, as a brigade proxy service member, was I entitled to that money? Sure. Did I do any work? No. Did I want to give my cut to Tom? Yes. Did I try to give my cut to Tom numerous times? Yes. And I said, hey, look I own, a majority stake in this company, and I want to give you whatever was owed to me. I want to give it to you because you're doing the work. And he said, no, I'm going to take it and I'm giving it to the sheriff hands. That's the guy he is. He is a stand-up individual. And I hope we do more stuff together going forward. And I'm a really big fan of him and everything he did. And I couldn't be more thankful for the job he did for brigade proxy service members. We had a bunch of people who were in the money, King of Car Seats being one of them, mental handicappers being another. There was somebody else too that was in the money that went away, that wound up getting money on Friday, that he was working with. So just a big attaboy, thank you, and more to come in the future with Tom and his proxy service here with us with BVB. Finally, I will give you guys, as Cub fans, that's a big signing. Red Sox continue to be the only team in Major League Baseball who have not signed a free agent this offseason. And I'm so befuddled by all of this. I don't know what to say about it, to be frank. I don't understand it. I think it's malpractice what the Red Sox have done. I think the Red Sox have wasted all the goodwill that last year's season brought them. I think everything that was going in the right direction has been thrown up in the air almost intentionally by ownership. And you have a Cy Young caliber pitcher. You have a young core of star players that are going to be household names. And the Red Sox are probably 2 or 3 years away from being a dominant force in the American League. And yet ownership will not add the players, the talent that the Red Sox have been known for forever. And why is that? I don't know, to be quite honest. I don't know. The whole history, the whole thought process behind what the Red Sox have done in this offseason doesn't make a lot of sense to anybody who is really watching this team, given what they've got. You have Roman Anthony. Awesome. You have a couple, 3, 4 dynamic young players. Awesome. You have Garrett Crochet. Great. You have a great closer. Awesome. Why aren't you out there spending for the bats that you need? You could have gotten Pete Alonso. You didn't get Pete Alonso. You were going to get Alex Bregman. You didn't get Alex Bregman. Bo Bichette is out there. Are you going to overpay for Bo Bichette just to keep the fans quiet? Because the fans are ferociously mad about it. And so, Ross, I get this point. Bregman for 170 down the road, end of his career, dealing with injuries, less than whole back half of the year. Fine. All true. Okay. All rational conversations. But I agree with JPC. The Red Sox should be thanking the Patriots because instead you have a team in the postseason and everyone's not freaking out over what, I mean, how have the Red Sox not signed a single free agent? Every other team has in baseball. 29 other teams have signed a free agent. And the Red Sox, one of the biggest money teams with the deepest pockets, with a young core and a great potential for next year to win the division and to do big things next year, are not pushing their chips to the middle of the table to go after it. That is the frustrating piece of the Red Sox, is that they need power bats. We know what they're lacking. They need another arm. They need someone to go behind Crochet. They need to find a way to produce offense. And you can't just sit there and wait for the kids to be able to get there. It's just brutal. Fine. If that's the play, JPC, and I've seen people say this, that they're going to get Skubal, that's what they've been waiting on, that's what they've been working on, is the deal to trade for Skubal. Okay. If the Red Sox were to pull that type of level of deal, that would calm everybody down. Everybody would say, okay, fine. But Sam Kennedy, the president of the Red Sox, is a guy I've known for years. He used to do my radio show in New Hampshire every month. And Sam has been an awesome, valuable asset to me over the years for a variety of things. But he's taking massive heat today in Boston for going on WEEI radio in Boston and basically saying that, like, this ownership group has spent so much money over the last couple of years, it's not fair to question what their motives are. When any fan who's been watching the Red Sox for a long period of time are looking at this roster saying there are such glaring holes that need to be filled, the Red Sox could fill these holes with money. It's the one thing that Boston has always had. And they've won championships with a young core and guys like Manny Ramirez being brought in. And they have a young core, and they needed guys like Pete Alonso. They needed guys like Alex Bregman, if not just from a bat perspective, from a leadership perspective. And so him going to the Cubs, you said the Cubs overpaid for him. Okay, that's fine. I'll listen to that. But then what's the backup plan for offense for the Red Sox? Like, you just don't expect Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer just to become all-stars? Like, that's what's going to happen? I mean, maybe it happens, but maybe it doesn't. They're kids. So that's the issue. I'll be very curious to see what the next step is. Yeah, Bregman's only 31. You're right, but he's been banged up, Joel. I mean, he's been dealing with injuries on injuries on injuries. I mean, this guy, he can't stay healthy. So, can't stay healthy. That's a huge problem. And yes, Red Sox could get Kyle Tucker, but they don't need another outfielder. That's the problem. They've got too many of them. Red Sox don't have outfielder problems. Red Sox have offense problems. They need offense. You can't ask for, can't ask Yoshi to be your DH. It doesn't work. So, not great. All right, guys, thank you for being here. This is good. Mental Handicappers will join us tomorrow on the program. We'll go over everything that happened for them in their Circa Million contest to the bottom, being a booby prize winner of $25K. And we'll also take a look at the first games here for the divisional rounds. We'll recap Houston and Pittsburgh as to who's going to play the Patriots. We'll have 4 games to break down from a betting perspective tomorrow. We'll talk about it all then, 1 p.m. Eastern time, live on our YouTube channel for a Tuesday's episode of BBB.